Alright guys, before this video begins, I just really want to say thank you for 23 subscribers. We're almost up to 25. Could you guys make it happen? You know? Anyway, I really just want to say thank you guys a lot, especially on the montage I recently made that did the best out of all my videos so far. Yeah, so thank you guys. Hey guys, what's up? My name is Jules. Today I'm going to be recording a new video. So basically I'm going to be explaining to you what the top 10 best loadouts are for Warzone specifically. So basically I have 10 loadouts. We have everything strategically made. We have all the situational loadouts such as Ghost, fully loaded. We have all those loadouts that you need for Warzone. There's solo loadouts and there's a loadout for if you're going around with your squad. Okay, so let's talk about custom loadout 10. Basically what this loadout is going to be is your Ghost loadout. You are either going to want this to run as solo when if you only get one loadout per game as a solo game, or it'll be the loadout you take after getting your first loadout, which is being bought, or it'll be the loadout that you take after you already have the weapons of your choice. So basically this loadout is specifically made for solos, technically, because what we have on it is a stock M16 for range, monolithic suppressor for range and suppression, commando foregrip for stabilization and recoil, 50 round mags because in solos you don't need to have as many rounds in your mag, so that's really important. And having less rounds in your mag increases the mobility, increases the ADS, increases everything instead of 60 round mags. And we use stipple gripple instead of no stock because no stock did get a nerf, so we're going to be using stipple gripple for ADS speed. And then as your secondary, you want to use an RPG just in case there's a car around, you want to shoot it down, or helicopter or anything. So the next loadout is basically an emergency loadout. You have two guns which are very important, close range and long range, M4A1 and the MP5. And they both have fully loaded. It is an emergency loadout just in case, like, if you win Gulag and then the last loadout drops in and you really need some ammo, you don't have anything, right? It'd be best for you to take overkill if it's open ground. And there's a Ghost, fully loaded one. There's another Ghost which is fully loaded, and you'll see that next. You're going to be in the open ground. Not many people are going to use heartbeat sensors. Not many people are going to have UAVs up. You know, if it's indoors, everybody's going to have heartbeat sensors out. You might have a few UAVs out. So it'd be better to have a Ghost in a downtown area than let's say somewhere in farmland. So this is the next loadout I was talking about. Basically, we have fully loaded as your M4, but still have Ghost. So you also have a pistol here. M19 is actually a really OP pistol, if you don't know about it. But now this is very situational, right? But if you win Gulag and you have your loot, you pick it up again, right? You want to use this loadout because you get fully loaded, which you have SMG ammo for, and fully loaded for AR ammo, and you can just drop these weapons and get them back, and still have extra ammo. Now 8, 9, and 10 are all situational loadouts. So this is what you're going to be using for your second loadout, or if you want to get Ghost, or fully loaded stuff, emergency, stuff like that, right? Now we're going to get into more specific loadouts for an actual game. So basically first we have, at number 7 spot we have the M4 and the HDR. So basically we have the M4 here because the M4 is just a really OP gun, right? So we got the monolithic suppressor, the stock M16, the commando, the 50 round, the stipple gripple. And then you got the HDR for really long range fights and stuff like that. Okay, so attachments for the HDR is the 26.9 HDR Pro for range, monolithic suppressor for the suppression, tac laser for ADS speed, stalker scout for ADS speed, and sleight of hand for reload speed. Basically, you could change anything you want here because I know a lot of you guys probably want thermal. Like, that's fine to do. You just have to remove one of these. You might want to remove the sleight of hand, the F-Tech Stalker Scout with F-Tech Champion, or anything. Because sniper builds are always so controversial. You can use ADS stuff, you could use thermal stuff, and everything like that. Coming in at number 5, we have a new gun and still the M4, of course. The M4 has the same attachment stock M16, monolithic suppressor, commando foregrip, 60 round max, stipple gripple. And we also do have the FENNEC. This is a really great gun for solo because of how you could easily kill people. Like, the fire rate is absolutely insane. It's just the ammo, which is just destroying everything to do with the FENNEC. Like, the FENNEC would be an OP gun if it didn't have only 40 rounds as the highest capacity for ammo. So what we use on this is the ZLR Deadfall, which is basically the monolithic integral for the MP5, so they're really similar. Commando foregrip, because it has a lot of recoil, 40 drum mags because we don't really want 25, that's too low. Stipple grapple so you can bring it up fast, and GI mini reflex because the iron sight on the FENNEC isn't as great. It's not the best. Alright, coming at number 4 is MP5 and FAL. FAL is not a gun that's being used a lot, but it did get a buff, and also it's shown in my last video if you want to check that out, you know what I mean? Alright, anyway, so basically MP5 is a monolithic integral Merc foregrip, 45 round mag, sleight of hand, F-Tac collapsible. This is basically the go-to loadout for an MP5, of course. And the FAL is XRK marksman, monolithic suppressor, commando foregrip, and the burst, and the GI mini reflex. This is what I use specifically. I'm not completely sure, and you know, I think you should also change the reticle because the normal one isn't the best. Coming in at number 3 is a DLC weapon. Actually, it is the Bruin MK9. This gun is absolute. It's like one of the best guns in the game right now. It's basically an LMG, but then you can do it with 60 round mags, which just does everything for ADS speed, sprint to fire speed, movement speed, and it creates it into an assault rifle, but it does more damage than an assault rifle. That's why it is such an amazing gun. So you also use commando foregrip for the recoil control, XRK summit because it's a long range weapon, monolithic suppressor for the range and the sound suppression, and GI mini reflex. And also in this loadout we also have the MP7. Since you're not using the GRAU, it's not as short range. Like the Bruin would be like a little bit longer range, so basically we use the MP7 because the MP7 also has a longer range than the MP5. So if anything from low to mid range, you can use the MP7, but mid to high range, you could use this Bruin. What we have on the MP7 is the FSS Recon for range, monolithic suppressor for the sound of suppression, tac laser for ADS, Merc foregrip for hipfire, and 60 round mags, because you don't want 40. Coming in at number 2 is a new gun that we haven't seen that much, but YouTubers start to be using it, is the KILD. The KILD is an incredible gun, and I'm surprised that it's only been shown to the community like recently, and it's actually just it's almost as good as the GRAU. So basically what you would use is the VLK because the iron sight isn't that great, 60 round mags, commando foregrip for recoil, Sin Guard for higher range, monolithic suppressor for the range and the suppression. And then you also have the MP5, which is, and it's of course your go-to MP5. You guys use this all the time. You guys should get familiar with loadouts, and this is the most go-to loadout there is. Monolithic integral, Merc foregrip, 45 round mags, sleight of hand, and F-Tac collapsible. Coming in at number 1 is the best loadout in the entire game for months now. This loadout is just an incredible loadout. Like, you could use monolithic integral, Merc foregrip, 45 round mags. You could either use stipple grapple or sleight of hand. But for me, I'd rather the stipple grippy because of increased ADS speed. You also use F-Tac collapsible for the movement speed, mobility. And for the GRAU, what you would have for the GRAU is the Tempest, Archangel, the tac laser, the commando foregrip, 60 round mags, and the monolithic suppressor. This is the most OP loadout in the game, and if you want those high kill, like really good games, you want to be using this loadout now. Okay, I'm going to be talking to you guys about perks for a second. So basically you want EOD because lots of people are using C4 nowadays, and overkill if it's a 2 primary weapon class, and amped of course all the time because of how fast you can switch your guns. It is so important to switch your gun really fast. I also want to talk about the lethals and the tacticals. So basically, if you're running with a squad, you might want to be able to use a tactical and just like stun them while your teammates can go ahead first and then use their heartbeat sensor. If they use heartbeat sensors, at least someone in your team should have heartbeat sensors. And of course, also the C4. You could also use Semtex, which is also very good. I hope you guys all enjoyed, and I'll see you guys all next time.